First, a leading UN investigator says there are strong suspicions of rebels in Syria have used the deadly nerve gas Sarin during the civil war. But Carla del Ponte also insists she has seen no evidence the government has resorted to the use of chemical weapons. Those claims are in contrast to an earlier statement by the US, who has accused President Assad's forces of using them and threatened to take action. RT's Denece reports now from Washington.
UN human rights investigators say, based on the evidence that they have, the rebels in Syria have used the nerve agent Sarin. This is a major development which comes at a time when the Assad government is being accused of having used chemical weapons. And so this investigation, which says that in all likelihood the rebels have used chemical weapons, challenges the narrative which is dominating in the media here, and that if chemical weapons were used, they were used by the Assad government. There has been an intense buildup of tension around the issue, as President Obama said the use of chemical weapons by the Assad government would be a game changer, although he did specify that the U.S. had no hard evidence to accuse the Assad government of doing that. Now, this Geneva-based UN investigation is believed to be separate from the investigation into the alleged use of chemical weapons in Syria in the middle of March. Assad forces and the rebels blame each other for that. Damascus has requested a UN mission to investigate the incident, but the investigation is being stalled because, in addition to investigating that specific incident, the UN chief now demands access to all facilities in Syria, and there are concerns that this inquiry could thrust the UN into the center of a possible hunt for weapons of mass destruction, where it faces the ghost of Iraq. The fear again is that politics may get ahead of facts.
And for more, joining me now live is Denece, director of the French Center for Intelligence Studies. Eric, thank you very much indeed for joining us right now. If it's confirmed that the rebels have used chemical weapons, from your point of view, where would they have got them from?
Well, it's very difficult to say. Probably they have stolen them in some Syrian stock, but they could also have been received the gas sarin from foreign countries, because we don't know what the Qatari are supplying them or no. But for us, it's not really a surprise, because for months, I would say for 2 years, we say that all the time we are faced with a very huge disinformation campaign against Bashar regime, even if as French people we say Syria is not exactly a perfect democracy, but we spend all the time saying that we have not to believe most of the information coming around about Syria.
Western powers, meanwhile, have repeatedly claimed to have evidence suggesting President Assad has used chemical arms. Is it likely to be true, in your opinion?
You know, all the Western powers, I mean, above all the USA, UK, and unfortunately France, they are looking for any occasion to attack or to organize something against Bashar al-Assad. But it's absolutely stupid, because the Damas and Bashar, they don't have any interest to use chemical weapons, because they control more than 90% of the territory. They are in a position where they are going to win the war against the rebels, so they don't have to use chemical weapons, because it would be absolutely counterproductive. So every time we receive some information saying that the Bashar regime is using chemical weapons, we are very, very cautious, because we don't believe that kind of information.
The US and their allies have threatened action should Assad use chemical weapons. Why are Western powers saying nothing about what would happen if the rebels used them?
But because all the Western powers are supporting the rebels, and I mean, we are doing the policy of Qatar and Saudi Arabia in this country, and this is absolutely awful and stupid, and we are fighting against this stupid diplomatic position, specifically in France. Above all, because we are fighting the jihadists in Mali, we are fighting the jihadists in Somalia, and we don't understand why we are supporting this kind of group in Syria. We also know that the US position is evolving day after day. Some day they want to organize something very strong against Bashar. Sometimes under some Israeli influence, they are much more cautious. But it's very difficult to understand what the US really wants. And it's always very funny to hear them to say that they are going to do something strong against Syria if the regime is using chemical weapons. They don't do anything years ago when Saddam Hussein was using gas against the Kurds and the Shia.
Do you think these latest UN findings, if proven, could change Western rhetoric then?
I hope so, because there is a lot of data, a lot of information, a lot of testimonies of people coming back, who are coming back from Syria, who are not specifically supporters of Bashar regime, but who are strong Syrian patriots who want the peace for the countries. And they say, we always prefer Bashar than the chaos, and the chaos for them is what will happen if all the Salafi and jihadi groups are going to take the power in Damascus. So we hope that step by step, because of the success of the military operation of the Syrian army, and also from the testimony from the people who are not involved in one part or the other, that the truth about what really happened in Syria is going to be understood everywhere.
All right. Eric Denece, Director of the French Center for Intelligence Studies. Eric, many thanks indeed for your views.